job. That was cool with all the effects. Can you hear me back there? Yes? Get better? Okay. This is as loud as it gets, otherwise I'm going to blow these guys out. The season went well. Proud of these guys. What I'd like to do is all the players stand on up. You guys are the Region 2 back-to-back champions. And first of all, I want to recognize the coaches, coaching staff, Alex Starcevic, Nick Chine, Ben Jacobson, Josh Thompson, Papa Chine, Big Joe Chine up in the box, the eye in the sky. Our junior high coaches, Jason Keating, Patrick Onson, and Nick Verdi. They did an excellent job. They worked hard to make things good for your boys and make them the best football players they can be. And they do a nice job. Let's give them a round of applause. Yes, Earl Hilliard also helps out with the youth football. Is he here tonight? No, Earl? But Earl does a nice job too. So, and also Patrick had video duties. He did most of the video that you saw up there. Patrick Onson was our videographer, and Tasha did one game. And then she did our scrimmage too. She did a nice job. So our videographers were good. And then stats this year done like, I can't do any louder. The stats were done by Jason Keating. He did a nice job this year. So those guys did some extra duties, so let's give them. Also, the parents did an excellent job doing the extra things. We had tailgating, we had these cool signs up here, and I want to remind you guys to grab their headshots, the picture you're in, and Connor, if you're in every picture, so don't grab all the other ones. He was photo bombing when this was going on. So that was our eyes and prizes in the gym. Make sure you grab those. Also, the footballs were made. A lot of time and effort goes into that extra stuff, and it's very appreciated. All the parents, the late night dinners, those kinds of things that come, when we keep them in practice, getting them where they need to be, especially the younger guys, getting them here in the morning, all that is very appreciated, and you've done it for a long, long time, and that's why these guys are the young men they are. They're also the reason they're as good as they are. They're disciplined, they do a nice job, and it's because of their parents. So guys, why don't you stand up and give your folks a round of applause. They're pretty good. We also have good support. We had our hydration specialists. We got Aaron, Ryan, Starcevic. Luke Starcevic is in training, so he's a training one, going to be ready to roll full time next year. Yeah, they did a nice job. Put your stand on up. And these guys are all some people I get forgot about. Our families, our coaches' families, we spend a lot of time with your boys. We spend a lot of time watching film. We spend a lot of time doing things, and sometimes our families get neglected. Our wives, our families. It's tough on them too. So they make a big sacrifice come football season and those good things. Also, our athletic director, Patty. Patty does a nice job for us. Patty, come on over.
Oh my God.
Patty does a great job getting food ready and doing all kinds of the extra stuff behind the scenes. She makes people feel welcome coming into Larimore. She takes care of all kinds of stuff and takes care of our boys above and beyond what she's required to do. So thank you, Patty. We have We also have a bus driver, Mr. Lean. And I heard a rumor that he might be retiring from driving us on the bus, so I would hope it's not true, but he knows he's always got a seat on the bus going to the games when we go. But he does a nice job, and he keeps us semi-safe when we're out on the road. and he's one of our biggest fans, and we really appreciate what Mr. Lee does. If he does end up not driving the bus, then maybe we'll get a trailer on the bus. He doesn't like pulling a trailer, so that's one of your things. But Mr. Lee does a nice job for us. So. Mr. Wheeler and Dr. Abbey, the administration, they support us, do great things for us, and they help us hit things, make sure we're able to run efficiently, and give us permission to do things. So they do a nice job for us too. And the guys also behind the scenes that wash your jerseys and do those things, Chad and Ed and Sullivan, they do a nice job with that. And that's something that just doesn't happen. They wash things all the time for you. They try to keep that locker room smelling better for the elementary school teachers. Find it kind of odoriferous when it gets into the season, so they do a nice job for us too. And our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders are we appreciate all you do. You're awesome. I'm going to give you a little segment of time. Come on up. And good assistant coaches. I got in mind, I forgot about Coach Nosbush. Steve Nosbush and Steve Paulson, they do the football field. They do an excellent job out there. They keep it looking beautiful out there. And they do a very nice job doing that. I also forgot my wife Nancy for doing concessions. That's a headache that she really enjoys. Yeah, I want to say speak louder. Yeah. But she does a nice job with that. Now, moving on to our junior high football. Coach Keating, come up here. Coach Keating also is a radio star. He's got a face for radio. Come on up. Nice beard.
Same to you. Can you hear me back there? Yeah. We'll keep this very short and sweet, because I know that's how we like it. Junior high football team, stand up real quick. This is your Iron Man football team right here. Give her all applause. Only 8 of them showed up, that's fine. Sit down. We only have 13 total anyway, which is great. They were the Iron Men, of course, because at least for our first 2 games, we had 11 guys. That was all we had. We talked a lot about playing a little 9-man football, but we're too big of men here at Larimore High School, so we played 11-man and went undefeated, as a matter of fact. Had to cancel a couple of games because of some injury issues or whatever, but not because they didn't want to play, because they were told they couldn't play. These guys, you couldn't keep them off the field, to save your own life. Concussions, broken ribs, if Noah's here, whatever. They were out there every single day. Well, I can hit just a little bit, can I, Coach? Well, no. But it says a lot about their hard work, their dedication to the program. Nobody came really close to us in any of our games. They knew that they were going to play because they were the only 11 or 13 guys that we had, but they all worked hard as if we had 58 guys on the team. So that's all I got. Renee. Renee's here, hey! Before I step off, Coach Birdie is here. Coach Birdie helped us in many aspects. He played a lot more football than I did, because he was better at football than I was. So he understood a lot more of the mechanical things. He did a lot of things for us, and really helped make the team go. So before I am done, one round of applause, please, for his
Well, since we're talking about Coach Birdie, come on up, Coach Birdie. We will start the awards part of our ceremony here by giving away our Black Lion Award. Coach Birdie was a Black Lion, so he is our only black, well, not the only one. There's a couple more after that. Actually, Brody's here, right? Brody's Black Lion too. That's his Black Lion. Start with junior high.
All right, starting with junior high. All right, Black Line Award was established in 2001 to honor the memory of Major Donna Hall, former West Point All-American who died in combat in October 1967. And the men of 28 inches, Black Lines, who died within that day. Black Line Award is intended to go to that football player on his team who, in the opinion of his coach, best exemplifies the character of Don Howard. Leadership, courage, devotion to duty, self-sacrifice, above all, unselfish concern, a team ahead of himself. Larimore Polar Bear Junior High Football Family Black Line 2013 football season is almighty.
All those attributes, they kind of represent things that we want to strive to do as polar bears, okay? That's polar bear way. We also have one that is selected by our varsity players. And this guy, I wish I had 1,000 of them, okay? And I do. I have a bunch of guys that do have these attributes. A bunch of guys that I'm looking at out here that work hard and do all those things and put team ahead of individual stuff. But this guy's a guy I can count on. I knew I could count on all the time. This is a guy that showed up dirty, get his weights going. He's a guy that, speak louder, I will, here we go. But this guy is a guy that is deserving of this award. This guy is our Black Lion in 2013, Hunter Trozen. Next thing, I want to recognize Hunter was one of our captains also. I like our captains to come up here. Greg Hofer, Hunter Trozen, and Blake John. These guys did a great job. They led our team on the field, off the field. They did things the right way. They are good, quality guys. That's why we're successful. We're successful because we have quality kids in our program, quality kids that want to work hard. And these are three that were selected captains by their teammates. Okay? And they did a nice job leading. Beat was 2 years, right? Last year too. They did a nice job. Our captains. We also have a leadership group that meets once a week during the season. We'll meet from time to time through the out season to help keep the team unified. We call it a unity council. And what happens there is we discuss things that may be of a problem, maybe something that we need to address, something that we want to plan. Maybe it does a lot of different things. And the guys that are on the Unity Council, they apply for it and they want to be on it. They want to be in that leadership role for their team. Okay? We started it 5 years ago and it's rolling strong now, and I think it's part of our success. It keeps us going. But these guys are Unity Council members. Come on up here. We got Greg Hofer, Brandon Molina, Connor Nygaard, Trozen, Blake Young, Matt Bradley, Jake Peterson, Trevor Verkulen, Jeremy Wiggett, Isaac Bolter, Jacob Tupa, and Royce Verkulen. Come on up. We had breakfast meetings in the morning, had donuts, we had good food, right? Chocolate milk most of the time. And it's pretty laid back. But these guys also have stepped up and wanted to be in that leadership role. They led the team well. And they're on it until they make a mistake, and none of these guys have. So they're on it because they want to be. They're on it because they want to lead their fellow teammates, and they do a nice job with that. So this is our Unity Council. All right, mission continues. We have a day one starter program that we try to motivate kids to do the extra things and take advantage of the opportunities placed in front of them. Whether it be going to weights, getting their lift on in the weight room before or after school, in the off season, in the summer, going to camps, doing the extra things, okay? And when they do those things, getting good grades. That's another thing that's very important. So to motivate kids and get things done, if they get a certain amount of points, the top 11 guys are recognized as day one starters. And then on day one of football practice, they get to run out there, run through the drill, be the demonstrator, and then on day one of football practice, they are the starters. And these are our 2013 Day 1 starters. Come on up here. Matt Bradley, Braden Hofer, Isaac Coulter, Reese Johnson, Brad Molina, Connor Nygaard, Jake Peterson, Adam Rysted, Hunter Trozen, Jacob Tupa, and Blake Young. Bunch of hard-working guys, and they're a bunch of good guys, and they do things the right way. They did a nice job. They earned being Day 1 starter, and that will start all over right now for 2014. We're already rolling with that. We'll have new guys on there. Maybe some of the same faces, because they are a bunch of hard workers, but I know a few of them won't be, because they will regret it. Thanks a lot, guys. Our Day 1 starter. An effort to motivate guys. Again, we have an Ironman. And that's when we started. We started 2 weeks ago. And that's getting their 2 workouts in a week. If they do that from now until the end of the school year, 2 workouts a week, they get honored as being called an Ironman. This past year, the Ironmen were awarded with a feed at Buffalo Wild Wings. It motivated a lot of guys. They like to eat. They like to go to Wild Wings and eat too. So these guys were our Ironmen of 2013. Matt Bradley, Andrew Bridgman, Riley Gainsborough, Braden Hofer, Levi Hofer, Isaac Holker, Brad Molina, Connor Nygaard, Jake Peterson, Adam Rysted, Brandon Steffen, Hunter Trozen, Jacob Tupa, Brody Wagner, Blake Young. Great group. Some good guys, and these guys got to go to Buffalo Wild Wings after running the Polar Express. First day of practice, and we got to crush wings, okay? Now, next year, if you're an Ironman during the school year, you're going to get a t-shirt. And we're going to have up our Ironman thing into the summer. So if you want to be a hungry Ironman, you got to get your 2 workouts in after the school year into the summer. So we're going to get guys continuing that thing throughout the summer, okay? Good job, guys. 4 or 5 years ago, that Ironman group was 3 guys. So a lot of guys getting after it. Got a lot of guys trying to be excellent, trying to be the best they can be. We'll start. Next award we're going to have is the Andrew Baki Most Inspirational Polar Bear Award. So we'll start.
The Andrew Baki Award, I get the honor of presenting. I don't know, I'm pretty sure most of you in here know who Andrew was. I was fortunate enough to be able to work with him in the school and teach Andrew and see him every day. I was his neighbor. He'd often stop over unexpectedly and pop in and visit because he loved Gunner and our dog and our children, and come over and visit. And there'd be times I know Melissa would be going crazy looking for him, wondering where he went to, and I'd have to call her up and say, "Don't worry, he's over here watching Scooby-Doo with us." But he's a guy that was absolutely very inspirational. I mean, he just, every time I saw him, I know personally, I lit up and made my day better. Whether it was a horrible day or a great day, he made everything that much better. So in his honor, Coach Peterson's got an award to give out to the most inspirational polar bear on the football team. And this year's award winner, just to make sure I don't screw it up, I looked at it, but Braden Hofer.
Next, we're moving on. We got a couple of managers that were pretty awesome. One's a senior. Come on up here, Tasha. And also Dustin West. Dust Money. Where's Dustin? Come on up, kiddo. We talked about inspirational polar bears. This guy loves being our football manager, don't you, Dustin? He does a good job. He keeps the water cold. He makes sure everything's happening. and he's always trying to get better, okay? And he loves coming to football practice. We love having him around. He does a great job. Tosh has done a good job with statistics and taking the pictures. He's going to take us some photos now today, right? But we had a couple of good managers. We will be looking for more. We still have Dustin. We have Dustin for 2 years, right? Yeah. They did a great job as managers. Next, we want to recognize our freshmen. All of our freshmen. I'm going to read your name up. Come on up and we'll line up here. We've got Andrew Bridgman, Trevor Elfman, Monty Henderson, Caleb Hofer, Elijah Hofer, Tyler Lindeman, Eric Peterson, Clayton Gillette, Cody Stark, Royce McEwen, Brody Wagner, Robert Warren, Dustin West, and Dylan Williamson. Sorry. Jacob. Now, while we're handing out their certificates and awards, you're looking at this group of guys. This is a large group of kids. You look at our junior high, small group. They're going to blend in. We have a quality group of large kids too. There's a large number of them. We have quite a few large kids. We have guys that I'm looking at right here that are looking to work hard. They're looking to get better. They're looking to be the best possible polar bear football player they can be. Okay? And they have a lot of good role models. The upperclassmen that they're following through, they have been a good model for them. They've done a nice job. But this is a quality group of guys. It's a large number of guys. And they need to continue to work at it to live in the legacy that these older kids have left for them. But this is our freshman class. We also have an award affiliated with our freshman class, okay? Our freshman class will always select the most outstanding freshmen, okay? We have quality freshmen here that got some varsity playing time. They all did a great job on our JV teams, okay? But voted on by their teammates and selected, we have 2 freshmen that were most outstanding. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart. We have Hawk and Animal, or Caleb Hofer and Levi Hofer, our outstanding freshmen of 2013. Next, we have an award that was created called the Guts and Glory Award. And it's kind of a tough guy award for guys that may have played hurt, or guys that have struggled through things and made themselves better to be a football player.
Well, I think just for watching television, let alone watching your boys play football, you realize that football is a violent sport. Part of that violence, with that violence comes injury. We have 2 individuals that played through and with some significant injuries this year and still were able to contribute in a large way to our varsity program and our success. Those 2 individuals this year that received the Guts and Glory Award were Seth Smith and Jeremy Wiggin.
Next, we'd like to recognize our sophomores. This is our sophomore class, 2013. Come on up, Matt Hilliard, Isaac Moulter, Reese Johnson, Alex Much, Seth Piper, Aaron Rysted, Alan Rysted, Seth Smith, Brandon Steffen, and Troy Wiggins.
Okay, before we get to JV Player of the Year, JV season this year, overall it was a good season. I think most Class B teams we took on took it on well, we played well. We went into Devil's Lake and had a little shootout there, but overall, JV season was well. We got a lot of young players. You can see we got a lot of freshmen. Okay, that's the biggest class we have going right now, and sophomores. But we got a big freshman class. Plus, we got our sophomores here that we got a bright future still coming. Okay, we still got a run that we can make coming years, next year, the coming years, because of some of these young kids that we do have. We had a lot of standout performances all JV season. We had some guys that couldn't play 1 week because we had beat them in varsity and so forth. But this guy's played JV all year. He was a rock. He got some minutes in the varsity as well. He carried the load, I should say, a lot of times all year. And played some good defense as well. Royce for Keelan.
Next, we're going to move on to the rock, the hardest working polar bear. Okay? And looking out into the crowd, we have a bunch of guys that are hard workers. And every week we select a rock, and that person is also an honorary captain of the game because of their efforts. We had a lot of guys. It's tough to select week to week.
I'll read the weekly award winners of who won the rock. There was an out-season award that went to Adam Reisted. Well, maybe we'll applaud at the end. You got it. Maybe we'll. Braden Hofer was the preseason award winner. Week 1 was Brandon Molina. Week 2 was Tristan Martin. Week 3, Jake Peterson. Week 4, Jeremy Wiggett. Week 5, Matt Bradley. Week 6, Trevor Verkulen. Week 7, Aaron Sletton. Week 8, Hunter Trozen. And Week 9, Blake Young. There is the overall yearly award that goes to the overall Rock Award winner. Obviously, these guys all have their name in the hat, and they won it for a reason because of their efforts and sacrifice during the weeks that they won it. But overall, for the entire year, just as Coach Peterson was saying earlier, there's one guy that kind of stood out that was there year-round, busting his tail, doing anything we ever asked. If we do run-throughs before games on Thursdays, or we do a mock game, and we'd have to make sure that everybody knew where they were in the depth chart. They'd run in and out to make sure that it wasn't a circus on Friday, you know. So everybody knew first and second on the depth chart for all our teams, offense, defense, kickoff, extra point. I mean everything. And if anybody ever didn't run out in the field and forgot what they were supposed to do, this guy every single time just ran out there and took the place and did the job. And that just goes a long way in showing what kind of character he has, and that he's up for anything, and he takes the bull by the horns. And this year's winner of the overall season Rock Award is Hunter Trozen.
Yes, our scout guys, every week, they have to go out there and they got to line. We got some freshmen, younger guys that have to line up across the line for guys like Beef, Bradley, and just take a punishment each week, 2-3 days a week. But they help us get ready every single week. They're a big part of the reason our success on Friday nights is for the work they do during the week, helping our guys out. Okay? Here were our weekly award winners. Week 1, Isaac Holter. 2, Aaron Raystead. Week 3, Reese Johnson. Week 4, Adam Raystead. Week 5, Riley Gainsforth. Week 6, Brandon Steffen. Week 7, Royce Verkeulen. Week 8, Caleb and Levi Hofer. And week 9, Monty Henderson. And our MVP of the scout team, most valuable, or the Iron Bear Award as we call him. Most weeks he had to line up and try to be the other team's best player and give us the best looks we could give each week against guys. Isaac Holter.
Say something else about the scouts. It's not an easy job. Like Coach Jay said, they get beat up on. They give a good look and they take a beating, but some of these guys give it too. And they became better football players by playing on that scout team, jumping in there, getting reps against the quality football players that we have here. So they got a lot better. Coach Jay didn't say, but he's also the quarterback sometimes in there, running around, shooting stuff done and sweating and going crazy in there. So he did a nice job as our scout quarterback. Next we have our most improved player.
Most improved player. This player certainly stands out in the coaching staff's minds, as well as obviously his peers, from his contributions from his freshman and sophomore year to what he was asked to do and contributed, as well as his productivity level day in, day out, week in, week out, versus every opponent, both on offense and defense and special teams. He was an invaluable player for us in every phase of the game, and from his, again, freshman and sophomore year to what he was asked to do, what he did do, and was basically an anchor for us in all 3 phases of the game. Our most valuable player this year was Trevor Verkeulen.
Next, we want to recognize our juniors. Juniors of 2013, Matt Bradley, Riley Gainsford, Keith Koski, Fernando Mendez, Jake Peterson, Chase Petro, Bo Shaley, Aaron Sletton, Trevor Verkeulen, and Jeremy Wiggins. Our juniors, along with being good football players, for next year, they get to be team leaders. They get to lead the team in the outseason and get guys to do things that they never thought they would do. They get to be looked up to. They get to be leaders in the weight room, off the field, getting things going and getting us ready in the outseason, getting ready for next year. A lot of these guys are playing other sports. They're leading those teams too. Looking at these guys, they're a bunch of hard workers again. There's an underlying message here that hard work pays off. Hard work makes good things happen. These guys have the honor of being leaders in the outseason. Good job, guys. This is our junior class. Next, we're talking about special teams. We had the award winners in the special team category too. We had players that made big plays. Some schools, some programs kind of write off special teams. They just we do a little kicking, a little this, that. We commit a lot of time to our special teams. We commit a lot of time to make ourselves better. We do have some players that work hard at it and they are really good. That's why we do it. We had a weekly award for week 1 versus rugby. We had Tristan Johnson and Jake Peterson. Week game 2, we had Royce Verkeulen. That was against North Border. Game 3, Braden Hofer and Tristan Johnson. Game 4, Tristan Johnson kicked a big field goal for us. Helped win that game. Game 5, Braden Hofer and Keith Caskey. Big chicken. Game 6, Jake Peterson. Game 7, Aaron Sletton. Game 8, Trevor Verkeulen. And the playoff game, game 9, Jake Peterson.
I think you can all tell by the number of awards that we have and the number of different individuals that we have, and we basically honor them and their contribution to the team, that football is the ultimate team game, which is why we consistently and continually basically have awards for almost all of our players where they contribute in such a significant fashion. Special teams is no different than our offense and defense as far as our overall scheme and success over the past several years that I've been here. And this year's award winner for the Special Teams Player of the Year award goes to Keith Caskey.
Now we move on to Offensive Players of the Week. We had an outstanding year again offensively, and a lot of that's due to the quality players we had. Our offensive line was tremendous. We had a lot of good guys in there. We had a lot of good backs in the backfield. Our backs were very good. We were able to rotate a lot of guys in there. A lot of guys doing a lot of good things. And Blake at quarterback did a great job this year. He was able to go ball a little bit more, do some things like that. He stepped up and made some good things happen. Our weekly awards, we had in week 1, our Offensive Player of the Week was Trevor Verkeulen. Week 2 was Hunter Trozen. Week 3 was Jake Peterson and Blake Young. Week 4 was Jake Peterson. Week 5 was Hunter Trozen and Jake Peterson. Week 6 was Royce Verkeulen. Week 7 was our, what was week 7? Week 7, Hunter Trozen. Week 8 was Braden Hofer and Isaac Folter. And week 9 was Connor Nygaard. And it's really fun when we have a bunch of guys making big plays and playing together as a unit and making things happen. Thanks, guys. Every year we want to get better, and this year we picked a couple of things we wanted to focus on. We wanted to focus on blocking better. So we had the Weld of the Week. And what that was is an award where it didn't have to be an offensive lineman necessarily. It was a guy on offense that was blocking to the whistle, a guy that was welded to his defender and driving them all over the field, making things happen. And I think it kind of put a focus on the importance of blocking in the offensive game. So our Weld of the Week, we had weekly awards for the Weld of the Week. So our first week, Braden Hofer. Week 2, Braden Hofer. Week 3, Monty Hendrickson and Jared Wiggett. Week 4, Braden Hofer and Hunter Trozen. Week 5 was the entire interior offensive linemen, all the offensive linemen interior, which were Brandon Molina, Tristan Martin, Bo Shaley, Braden Hofer, Matt Bradley, Caleb Hofer, and Levi Hofer. Week 6, Levi Hofer. Week 7, Matt Bradley and Connor Nygaard. Week 8, Matt Bradley. And week 9, Braden Hofer. We stressed blocking, and that's what made our offense go. And these guys did a great job. Sometimes offensive linemen and the blocking gets overlooked when people look at touchdowns and big plays. But big plays, and actually on the highlight tape, which is cool, Aaron and Jake, you guys were able to slow-mo and do that kind of stuff. We had welds. These guys were welding and sustaining, but we had pancakes too. We had guys knocking guys off their feet, which was pretty fun to watch. But these are our welds of the week.
Okay, next award, sticking with the theme of blocking, we have the Offensive Lineman, Most Valuable Offensive Lineman Award. And like Coach B said, that's a position that doesn't always get a lot of accolades and a lot of love. I know that even myself, when I was in high school, I played running back and linebacker up until I was a freshman. And I got the news that I was going to be moving to the line because of my size, and I was like, come on, I want to score, I want to be the guy in the glory, but soon after the change, you realize, sorry running backs, but how much more fun it is to play in the line because of the physical nastiness that you get to play with. And that's half the fun, I think, of football, is being able to take out a little frustration and compete with somebody else and get after them a little bit. And there's nothing, scoring a touchdown is great, it's a great feeling, don't get me wrong. But when you physically dominate somebody on the line of scrimmage and they end up on their back and you're on top of them, you knew you just manhandled them. There's nothing like that feeling. There really isn't for a football player. And like Coach B said, our linemen did a phenomenal job most of the season with their blocking and manhandling the other team and getting their pancake blocks in. And this award recipient by far had the most. And I'll say this, I'll go as far as saying this, I don't have the years Coach B does in coaching, but the short time I've been able to do it at the high school level, I'll say this guy is probably as good an offensive lineman that I have seen, especially at Larimore High School. So if I could have Braden Hofer stand up.
Next we're going to do Most Valuable Offensive Back.
Our running backs, what can I say? I think we got an embarrassment of riches with running back. We've got the grinders like Hunter. We've got the guys that can open it up, like Alex and Seth, just blow by guys. We got bruisers like Jeremy and Monty. Well, we got one that's kind of in between there. Does a lot of things, a lot of big runs, catch the ball in the backfield, doing a lot of things. And our back of the year this year is Jake Peterson.
Defensive side of the ball. We had weekly award winners there too, so we got to spread the love. Defensive Player of the Week, Week 1, Braden Hofer. Week 2, Matt Bradley. Week 3, Keith Koski and Hunter Strozen. Week 4, Keith Koski and Trevor McEwen. Week 5, Matt Bradley. Week 6, Caleb Holford and Brody Wagner. Week 7, Matt Bradley. Week 8, Brandon Molina and Jake Peterson. Week 9, Braden Hofer and Brandon Molina. They did a great job and they're recognized for their efforts weekly.
Staying with the defensive theme, we also had a tackle of the week, weekly award winners. And in week 1, it was Jeremy Wiggett and Blake John. Week 2 was Alec Mutch. Week 7. Week 3 was Hunter Trozen. Week 4 was Isaac Holter. Week 5, Tristan Martin. Week 6 was Brody Wagner. Week 7, Tristan Martin side of the ball, your linebackers are the people that you want to keep on their feet and make as many plays as possible. Your linebackers are making plays consistently. You probably have a good front that's doing a nice job. And obviously those people on the second level in the defensive scheme keep on their feet and are able to make plays. Our most valuable linebacker for this year, when it comes to linebacker, this individual was kind of our quarterback. On offense, we have a quarterback. On the defense, you do too, and that's typically a linebacker. This guy received all of our signals and was kind of the captain of our defense, moving people where they needed to go, knowing checks, recognizing defensive fronts and formations for us as well as the offense. So a lot of things was kind of in his hands throughout the course of the season. Did an outstanding job for us. This is Jeremy Wiegand.
Next defensive award is going to be the most valuable defensive lineman award. This obviously goes to a guy that plays in our defense. We have 3 down linemen. We have a nose guard and 2 tackles we call them. And those are our defensive linemen. So these guys are responsible for taking a lot of bullets basically. They got to occupy a couple offensive linemen at a time in a lot of cases so that our linebackers and secondary players can run and make tackles and do their job. And these guys, I mean, all 3 of the guys that started for us and the other guys that rotated in did a phenomenal job all season long. Just as offensive success is based on the offensive line, our defensive success is based on our front. Because if they can't take and occupy the offensive linemen, and those offensive linemen get to our linebackers and defensive backs, and they can't see and they can't get around the blocks in order to make the plays. So this position, again, it's not a glory position, but it's extremely important to the success of your defense. The 2 guys that are going to get it are guys that made a bunch of plays this year. One was probably asked to do, well, I know he's asked to do a lot. I switched him from last year, we switched him from a tackle to a nose guard position. And that nose guard position is not always fun because you're head up on the center, and the guards are always doubling, sometimes triple teaming you. So you got to be very strong, very physical, and be able to get a push on the center so that you don't get driven back in your linebackers. And so the first award recipient is Matt Rapp. Like I said, we had 2. We had Cole. The second recipient is a little bit different style. He's physical, but his speed and he was very nimble for a bigger fella. He could get in and when people would pull linemen, he'd be able to chase those linemen, get in the backfield and make tackles in the backfield, which is not an easy thing to learn at the high school level. It's something that's a little bit more advanced, and by the last game of the season, I was amazed at some of the stuff that he was able to do technique-wise. It was pretty darn impressive. That player's name is Brandon Molina. I just want to say real quick, I don't think I can say any more awards, but I wanted to, for myself and my son, and I think I speak for the staff too, I want to thank these guys for a really fun season. It was a great group to coach. I had a blast doing it, and I know the rest of us did. I just hope you guys appreciate some of the things that you've learned from football and will apply it every day down the road. Because it's crazy what you'll take on and what you'll use in life that you just learned from a stupid game, basically, you know. It really is, you know, but you take on those things, the hard work, the teamwork, the sportsmanship, all those things, and those are the things, like we talked after the last game, are going to propel you on in life and make you a successful young man. And like I said, from a selfish standpoint, thank you for giving me an outlet, because I couldn't wait for, it sounds, you guys are gonna think it sounds weird, but I couldn't wait for 3:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Those are the days I was fortunate enough to be able to come work with you guys. You know, I sat there at about 2:30 every day. I made sure I had office days, and I was just chomping at the bit to get out of the office so I could go to practice, and I didn't want to be over. So, and I think we all felt the same way. I think we all had a lot of fun. So, thank you for your effort, because not every year is every team fun to coach, and that's just being honest. You guys work, so thank you for doing what you did.
Very well said there, Coach. Our last defensive position is our DBs. We play a cover 3 system most of the time, and our corners are playing their third, and then we got our safety in the middle third doing their job. And then we also got our rover that's in there playing that linebacker DB spot for us all year. And you know, what we could do as DBs was help what our D line and our linebackers can do and free them up, because these guys can cover. Okay, we got guys like Blake and Isaac and Keith and Seth and some other guys that did a great job at corner. But our DB of the year is the guy that was in the middle of the field, kind of controlling things, and lots of big game-turning interceptions that really made a big difference. Jacob Peterson.
Last award we have is our overall team. And this guy is very deserving of it. Has a tough job. It's hard to earn accolades in the positions that he plays, but he is known throughout the state. He's known by other coaches, other teams, as being a darn good football player. And he is. And our team MVP this year, Brady Holtman. Along with a good season, a great season, we are honored to have guys recognized as all-region selections. We had 6 first-team all-region players: Matt Bradley, Braden Holford, Brennan Molina, Jacob Peterson, Hunter Troman, and Jared Wing. We also had 4 second-team players: Tristan Martin, Aaron Sutton, Trevor Gillen, and Blake Young. These are some pretty good football players. Along with having a great season, back-to-back undefeated Region 2 championship season, we were also honored to have the Senior Athlete of the Year. And the Senior Athlete of the Year selected by the Region 2 coaches was Brady Holford. We also had a chance, as having a good football team, we were honored with the Coach of the Year too. That was me, so I was the coach. Also, at the All-State meeting, one thing when you get the West involved, the West thinks they're great, but they are allowed to think they're great. They won the state championship game the last X amount of years, guys, so we won't get any respect until we start beating those teams out west. But we were honored to have a couple of players recognized for their efforts on the football field, and we were honored with 2 first-team All-State players and 2 first-team All-State players in the offensive line. And we have a pretty good offensive line. It was anchored by Matt Bradley and Braden Holford. Last thing we want to do is we want to recognize our seniors. This group of seniors as they get. They're a nice group of guys. They are raised well, they work hard, they look out for each other, and they're good football players on top of it. They've had a great career. They've won a lot of games. And that's through hard work, and dedication, and pushing each other, making each other better. But our seniors, come on up. Braden Hofer, Austin Beezer, Tristan Johnson is sick. He was really sick on Monday and Tuesday, so he's still sick. So Tristan Johnson, Tristan Martin, Brandon Molina, Hunter Trozen, and Blake Young. This crew of guys they've been through a lot. They're a quality bunch. Like I said, they're good guys. There's nothing mean to say about them. They worked hard, they won a lot of football games, and they did it together. They are a mold that guys should look at. You know, they worked hard, they pushed each other. Young guys, this is what you want to aspire to. Okay? They get it done in the classroom. They work hard. They didn't always get it done in the classroom, but they've worked their way up, and they've done a good job. And I'm proud of these guys. I'm proud of everything they've accomplished. Get one final performance. So let's recognize these guys first. Family on three. 1, 2, 3.
Family!
And that's all she wrote. We went over a little bit. We had a lot of kids we recognized, and that happens when you have a great season. We hope to repeat, get after it. Thank you for coming out. We're still